The first things to consider when you start designing your portfolio is three things. What is your visual language? Like any other brand, how do you want others to perceive you? Do you want to be fine and sleek? Do you want to be playful and fun? The second thing is where to build your portfolio. There are so many platforms out there, and I know it's a hard decision, but I think I have a good solution for you. And the third thing is what projects are actually going to go into your portfolio. What can I tell you? Hard decisions. In this video, you're going to learn how to create your first UX design portfolio. I am Yael or Yaeli. I've been a product designer for over almost 5 years now, so I'm a senior product designer. I work at Chainlink Labs, and I've had my fair share of portfolios. If you missed my video where I reviewed all of my last portfolios, please give it a go because I think it's going to be very beneficial for you. And just to clarify, this video is not about how to build your actual case studies. I am working on a series, like a step-by-step series on how to find fake projects, how to present them in your portfolio, and even how to explain them and showcase them when you're finally gonna go into interviews. This series is in the works. Be sure to subscribe to this channel now, ring the notification bell so you'll be notified when this series is coming up. I'm actually gonna start with the second question, where to build your portfolios. First things first, please try to avoid only sending PDFs. Though it can work in some cases, it doesn't really send the message that you're like tech savvy baddie that really wants to like nail this job. You must remember, you're in the process of one of the most saturated fields to get in right now. Everyone wants to be a UX designer. Everybody wants to get their first job. Every job listing I see on LinkedIn has like thousands and thousands of applicants. You really want to stand out, and I'm not sure you will be able to do it with a PDF. So the options as I see it are three categories. The first one is Wix, and when I say Wix, it can be Squarespace, etc. All of the no-code platforms for building websites that have templates that are very easy to use. I'm pretty sure Wix is still a completely free platform, and Wix is one of the most popular platforms to build a website, but in my opinion, it is very limiting. Maybe it's gonna be for a good start if you want to do something pretty basic. If you want to wow everyone that sees your portfolio, I'm just not sure that Wix is gonna give you that. The second category is Webflow or Elementor. Webflow is extremely popular. That's the platform I use. Obviously not sponsored. I'm a very young channel, but Webflow, if you want to sponsor me. Webflow is a no-code builder, but it's much more advanced. It does fit people with a better background, and it's a bit more complex to use. I took the Flex Academy course for Webflow, again, obviously not sponsored. And yes, it cost me money and it cost me time, but you're in the race. You need to beat everyone around you. And if you really want this, and this is your dream job, I don't think that this investment is like way over the top. And what's really good about Webflow is it allows you to build whatever your mind will ever be able to think of. Also, Webflow is not free. I mean, you need to pay for a domain everywhere, but in Webflow, you will also pay for hosting. I know that not everyone has the financial ability for it right now. So if I had to create my portfolio today, I would probably choose, drumroll, Figma. First of all, it's completely free. Figma is the standard of design tools. You're gonna have to perfect Figma anyway if you want to get a good job. And so whatever experience and learning process you will have in Figma while creating your portfolio is gonna benefit for you in your role and in your interviews. And that's how you wanna come across. The third one, and it's really important, is you can easily prototype in Figma, meaning you can do really cool animations and transitions and everything for free. You don't need to build a website. You don't need to learn a new tool. I mean, you need to learn a tool that you're gonna be working in the future. That's what I said, but you're not gonna have to invest yourself in a completely new tool. The one and not so small con that Figma has is that you don't know who's gonna be the first person to open your portfolio. So for example, if it's gonna be a recruiter and not like a team lead or whatever, they might not have Figma. But don't worry, I thought about this as well, so be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video. Now that we know what we're doing, it's time for the fun part. I'm gonna open my computer and let's go. Let me back up a little bit. Now I'm ready to tackle the first question, which is what is your visual language? Gathering inspiration and influence is really important in this step. I submerge myself in portfolios when I'm in the process of my portfolio. First of all, I love looking at beautiful things. And second of all, I get so many ideas that then I can just take ideas from each portfolio that I see and combine everything together. So I just went to Figma, I searched for portfolio. You have so many things around here. UX portfolio for inspiration. It's by Emily Mazurek. Thank you so much, Emily. I really like this. I'm gonna see if I can link it in the comments. She only has like the hero section of a lot of portfolios. And let's just say that you can choose between, you know, kind of like the sleek, very elegant, very like a gradient vibe. You can be a bit more playful. You can be like very classic and very plain and minimalistic. Wait a minute, I know Oishi. That's so funny. She works in Spotify and she has an amazing portfolio. I already collected the 2, now 3 examples that I actually liked. Now let's look at their actual portfolios. Hui Ren Lee, and if I'm butchering any of the names, apologies. She's a product designer at Meta. I really like the homepage. I really like the gradients that are kind of moving. And once you start scrolling, she doesn't even have like thumbnails. She just tells you, yes, I work at Instagram. I worked at GoDaddy. This would be a good opportunity to say that not everything that you see and like is going to be a good reference to you. So if I'm assuming that you will present like fake or like the course project in your portfolio, naming their names here without any thumbnails won't say anything to whoever is looking at your portfolio. The second website is by Adam Riddle. Riddle is such a cool last name. What I liked about these thumbnails, I feel like serenity. I know that he's minimalistic. I really like the aesthetic. And also you're not gonna have so many projects. We're gonna take inspiration from this portfolio, but we're not gonna copy it one by one. Oishi, I love her website. I looked at her website a lot when I was building my portfolio. Shout out Oishi. I love this. If you remember, I also have like Curious Designer in my portfolio. As I said, I took inspiration from her. She is amazing. And so now we have like much more friendly, much more nonchalant kind of vibe. I really like this. What I love and about me. I bet you none of these websites were built by Wix. We have the WF, this is Webflow. So Oishi's website was done in Webflow. This 100% was built with Webflow. I can already see it, of course, Webflow. Okay, I'm gonna start creating our heroes section. And as I said, I really liked what Hui Ren Lee done with hers. This is my desktop. I'm gonna call it home. And I really want to do this gradient. I'm gonna click O in my keyboard. I'm gonna have this circle. I do wanna have like cool gradient. I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna go to colors. Colors have gradients that you can choose from. I really like this one actually. So I'm just click to copy. Such good UX. I love it. You know what? I'm gonna take this peachy color, and now to create this kind of cloudy effect, I'm gonna click effects, layer blur, and I'm gonna blur the shit out of this. Beautiful. The home layer itself, it's clipped content, so the gradient won't be visible after our layers. This is not a Figma crash course, but we'll go over the important stuff. She has like one bulb here and one circle in this corner, but in this corner it's a bit smaller. Now that we have that, how cool would it be if we can animate it? You see that it's like moving from side to side, and guess what, you can easily do that with Figma. I'm gonna take my layer and I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm just gonna move how I want the movement of these circles to be. So for example, this is gonna go to this corner and maybe even like less opacity, and this circle is gonna go down and maybe get like a bit bigger. So we have 2 states. We have the starting state and then we have the second end state. And I'm gonna go to prototype, link between them. I'm gonna set the trigger to after delay, put the delay on the minimum, so it's like 1 millisecond. Set it to smart animate linear and 3 seconds, which is 3k milliseconds. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing in the opposite direction. Now that we have both links, let's see how it looks like. Can you see that it's like subtle? There is subtle movement. But now you will say, yeah, but it's in 2 completely different screens. Well, I'm glad you asked. We're gonna take both of these screens and we're gonna click create component set. And now I have a component. We're gonna take it to the side because we never design on components. We create components, put them to the side, and then design on top of them. Now I will only take one of the variants of the components, and you will see because it's linked in the component, I don't need to do anything. It just keeps moving. As for the fonts, I really like this font, and there is actually a really amazing Chrome extensions. It's called Fonts Ninja, and once I hover this text, I can actually see what font it is. And I found a different font that is not free for commercial use, but it is free for personal use. This is Yaeli. I don't like how my name is written in every font, so I might even make like my Y a small y. We're designers, we can break the rules, it's fine. So this font is called Galliant. I'm not gonna perfect it now. I mean, I could play with typography forever and ever, but I think this is just good for now. Now let's go to the menu here. She has about and other works, and I get why she has other works because you remember she only has 5 works on her homepage. We won't have this problem since we're only gonna show 2-3 projects. Work, love, about, resume. Resume is a really important one. Don't use the fancy display fonts for things that actually need to be readable. Inter is like my go-to font for a lot of things. Let's do like 16. I have my name, and then I'm gonna have like my menu here. We have works. We will have about, because it's important, people want to learn about you. And we will have CV, extremely important in my opinion. And we will have contact. This is the only CTA that people can take in your website. And to be honest, now that I think about it, this is gonna be another con for Figma. So in my Webflow website, the contact actually opens email. I'm gonna leave contact out right now, but I have a solution for it as well. Can I just say only use 4 pixel jumps? So for example, the gap here is 27. 27 is a no-no. Let's go to 24. Why? Because it is very universal. 4 or 8 pixels is the standard wherever you go. So start having this habit of jumps of 4 pixels. Auto layout is like a beast on its own, so I'm not gonna touch on it this video. I am very sorry. I will have like 24 pixels from the top. I'm gonna create a component out of this. We're not copying one-to-one, we just take inspiration. And so I think a really good idea, apart from having like product designer at Meta here, can actually be like having a photo here. I have this beautiful display font. Maybe I can have like an arch. I need to take new photos. This is from like my old job. It kind of looks strange. Maybe if it's black and white, it's gonna look better. I kind of want it to be a bit more mysterious. Yo, you know what I actually really want? I want grainy. You can Google so many things on Figma and like how to use Figma. Grainy effect Figma. I don't understand why it doesn't open in Figma, but even if it doesn't, I'm gonna just search for it in the plugins. So I have this rectangle. I want to put the noise on that. I don't like it when it's black. I always love that it's like a bit grayish. I'm gonna choose a different blending mode, but let's just add to layer right now. This is absolutely amazing. So now you're like, okay, yeah, it looks like shit. It does for now. Hear me out. First of all, I'm gonna turn the opacity a bit down, and now we're gonna play with the blending mode, so you can see it kind of changes. Ooh, lighten is really good as well. Ooh, screen, I kind of like this one. You see that it's like, it's very subtle. I like it on the black letters as well. Okay, so now I have it as the top layer, so I won't be able to select anything beneath it. So we're gonna lock this layer. And what I want to take from here is this grid of like 3 thumbnails. I really like it. Let's start with just rectangles. I like the rectangles to be like a bit above the fold. I think it would actually cool if they were black, kind of match this. I'm gonna change real quick just the resolution of the screen, just because I want it to fit to my screen so you will see how it is. Here I have like the hero section. I don't like how the image looks right now, but we'll take care of it. My main camera died and I just realized I bought a brand new camera when I was in Chicago, and I probably threw away the charger, the battery charger with the box, because I can't find it anywhere. I'm gonna look here because this is where my screen, and this is gonna be my camera now. I just want to say that I fixed the gradient. I think I changed the blending mode. I'm not sure what it was, but I changed the tile size. So you can see if I change the tile size, it's gonna change the gradient. So I left it at like 40%. Just wanted to say it in case you will have a similar problem. So now that I'm done with it, I'm gonna lock this layer again. I'm not a fan that only once you hover, you see like the name of the project. The name of the project also don't really tells me anything. So what I personally would do, I'm gonna have like a project title. Let's do it 32 pixels. Then I'm gonna have like a short description. If your font is 32, we want it to be like smaller, so maybe even 18, and maybe we don't even want it to be like this dark. It can definitely be 24 to be honest, and this from 18 I'm gonna change it to 16. I'm actually gonna add like lorem ipsum because I might want this description to be like in 2 lines. So I got my first project. Let's of course make a component out of it. I created this group. I want them to have 24 pixels in between, and this entire container is 1200. And now you remember that I had this contact. It can go to the bottom of the page. This is actually not my email, but I would write your email so people can know how to contact you. So it's true, they can't click a button. As I said, it is a big con in Figma. Let me know if you have like a creative way to fix it. So I'm gonna, write my name in the bottom as well. There is our gradient. I can see that it's moving. So this is Yaeli. I have my projects from the bottom. And once I start scrolling, I can see project title. To be honest, now that I think about it, because you'll only have 3 projects, maybe a better layout, hear me out. What if it kind of looks like this? And now, if I'm gonna play it, it kind of looks more full. I actually love that like the black is right beneath the this is Yaeli. And maybe I can also add view project. Let's make it full black. It doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look bad. And for the product page, I actually want to go back to Adam's portfolio. I love it both because the typography is really well. I like that it has a lot of photos. And again, this video is not about how to actually build your case study. Just to see how it will look like with like actual mock-ups. So let's say, one thing I actually want to change. I want to make my footer sticky to the top. I'm gonna go to my footer, under prototype, I'm gonna click sticky. Sometimes Figma has its bugs, but what we'll have here is that we have the header stick to the top. And I really like this. I will have more pages in the future. From my component, I'm gonna say that the Yaeli Barkai, my name, is always gonna go to my main page. Let's test it. If I'm gonna click on Yaeli Barkai, I'm in my main page. I forgot that I replaced my main page. It's not this, it is this. I actually like that the grain is gonna be on everything. And you know what? I'm gonna put the grain on the entire page. And maybe I'm gonna make the color like a bit more peachy, kind of like, like very subtle, even more lighter. And then I'm gonna get like my grainy effect on this one. I don't like this peachy color anymore. I can easily change my color, and this color is gonna reflect instantly in all of my designs. And now it's kind of even grayish, and I really like it. Let's see the final prototype we created. And as you noticed, I did change the color once again. So we have our gradients here, we have a big title, we have all the project that we list, and if someone wants to contact us, they can. And when I view my projects, I have a big image, a short description of what the product is, and some images, text, image. And of course, we're gonna get into all of that in the series that I told you of how to create your first fake project and showcase it in your portfolio. We have the next project, second project, etc. And now for the most important thing, how to actually share your prototype. I am going to take all of this, create a completely new file, and I'm gonna place my prototype here. Of course, make sure that everything is working. Sometimes there are some glitches. I just want to make sure that everything is connected. And once you will play your prototype, you will have a share prototype button. So you will have anyone with the link can view. Just make sure that this option is selected. Everyone with the link can view, and then you can copy link. This link is now the link to your website, your portfolio. And one last thing, you remember I told you that maybe recruiters won't be able to access Figma. We're gonna design a different page. It can be your hero section, maybe without like the work and CV. Maybe I'm just gonna have like my email here. So I'm not gonna design it beautifully now, but what we're gonna do is that this is kind of gonna be like a landing page. I'm gonna make this an actual button, and then we will have like, don't have Figma, download PDF. Maybe even make the button even more clear. Make portfolio in Figma. As I said, this is not an amazing design right now, but what I wanted to show you is that we can cater for both people. And now that I've created this in Figma, even the gradient animation that I created, if I record a screen and then turn this video into GIF, I can upload this GIF as a background in Wix very easily. This export as an image and only create the buttons in Wix. So if you only create this footer, you can make this clickable, you can make this clickable, and in the worst case, if someone really doesn't have Figma and can't open it, then they can download a PDF of all of your portfolio. I would truly recommend building your portfolio in Webflow, but I'm saying if you don't have that ability and you want to create something cool that you can't create in Wix, use this as a starting point just to start the ball rolling. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if it was helpful. Let me know what you would want to see next, and good luck with building your portfolio. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week.